Hello guys, welcome you all to AI Ki Pathshala. I am your host Anup and today is the fifth session of Recursion and we are going to discuss a couple of coding related questions today. We will discuss it in details. Those of you who are watching my recorded session, you can join my free live classes by going to the description section of the video and joining my Telegram group link from there. Whatever session I am conducting, I conduct because I have a passion to teach each one of you, whosoever you are, wherever you are, in whichever profession you belongs to. It doesn't matter. You can come, you can study, you can code along with me, and you can build a new skill. You can make you a career transition into the field of data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and lot more. So it's completely free of cost. You can come and enjoy the benefit. Now I'm going to share you my screen and let's start our class. So let me first change here to the speaker mode. Fine. This is so. See, we already have studied in the previous classes the approach that we are using to solve our questions. So basically, there are two approaches that we are following. One approach was we are making a copy of the original list, and from that original list, we are making a smaller copy of the from the original list. We are making a smaller copies, then a smaller copies, and then a smaller copies till we reach at the desired output that we want. This was my first approach, and the second approach to solve the question was that I was using the starting index method, in which I didn't have to make any copy. Just I was setting in a starting index, and every time I'm increasing my index and comparing it with the next index. So this is the two approach that we are using in all the 3-4 questions that we have discussed. So now there is a slight change in the last question that we have discussed and this question that I am going to discuss. And we have to use this approach only, these two approaches. We have to solve our question with the help of these two approach only. Fine. So let's give you the question. What is the question? Let me write the question for you first. Let me make you understand the question. Thereafter, we will move to the question. So the question is that find the index of last occurrence of X in a given list A. So my previous question was that let's say this is this is a list. Let's say what this is a list, and let's take the value 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 7, 9, 12. So if you remember, what was my last question? My last question was, let's say this 7, I have to find the first occurrence of this 7. This was my last question. Let's say in this list 7 occurs 2 times, this at this place and at this place. So I have to find the index position of the first occurrence of 7. Whatever be the, whenever, if I will start from this position, and if I will move in this direction, whatever be the first 7 that I will encounter, I have to return the index position of that 7. That was my previous question that we already solved. Now, this question is that now I have to find the last index of 7. Let's say here is a list, and in this list, there are two 7, this 7 and this 7. So now I do not need to find this index. What I need to find? I need to find this index, last index. Are you getting my point? What I'm telling you? Have you understood the question? Hello guys, have you understood the question?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got the question, na? So this time I have to find this
Yeah.
index. So see, one very simple way to find this kind of question is, so earlier what I was doing, earlier approach was that I was starting from this position, and every time I was like making a copy of the list. This was my first index, sub copy, and making a smaller copies, and I was checking in. So new list is created every time. And my second approach was that I am starting from this index, let's say index, this is index 0, and I was moving, and every time I was I was changing my starting index by +1, and I was comparing this value with this next value, and finally I am wherever I am encountering x, wherever I was encountering what this value, whatever value I was supposed to, then at that point of time I was returning the result. So this was the two approach that we are using previously. Now this time there is one simple way to deal with this question. What was that simple way to deal with this question? Okay, so it was 1, let's say it was 1, 1, let's say 10, 7, 12. Okay, so one simple way to deal with this question, that instead of starting from this position, I will start from the last position. And if I will move in this direction, from last index to this direction, at whatever index I will first encounter this 7, that will be the last occurrence of 7 in that list. Do you agree with me or not? If instead of going from this direction, if I will start from the last index, from this position, and if I will start moving here, whatever be the first x I will encounter, the index value of that first 7 will be my output, will be my result. So this is a very easy way to deal with this question. Fine. But I do not want to deal with this question in this easy way. So I want that you should start, I will start from this position, because if I will make this question, if I will give you this question, this become very easy question. So to make it a little tough, what I'm suggesting you, so I have to find the index position, but I will move in this direction. And I will use both the approach that we have already discussed in this. So first we will use the copying list approach, and thereafter we will use starting index approach. So have you understood this thing? Now, if you understood this, let's understand a couple of things here, which
Yes.
is very important to solve this question. First thing is that, let's say this is something this is a list having some elements. So now this is my index 0, this is my index 1, and so on, whatever be my index, so on. So now what I will do, I will not see the value at the 0 index. I will not check the value of x whatever be my value at my 0 index, I will not check it. I will not check the value at index 0.
Your voice is breaking.
My voice is breaking, is it so? Mr. Misra sir? Hello, Mr. Misra sir?
No. No.
No, my voice is fine. Ruchi, there may be some internet issue at your end. Kindly check your internet connection and kindly confirm me. So see what I was telling you. So let's say this is a list and let's say I've indexed it. So what I'm telling you, in this list, I have to find the last occurrence of X. Okay. What I have to find? Last occurrence of X. So let's say if X is present here and let's say my X is equal to, let's say 7. Let's take one value. If X is equal to 7, that I have to find the index value of 7. So what I'm telling you, I have to skip the checking of the value at my 0th index. Why am I skipping this? And I will only check the value at the 0th index when, let's say, if this list, let's say if this list, this is my bigger list, and if I will make a smaller list, copy of this list, this is my smaller list. So only I will check the value at my 0th index when this list will return me -1. Return -1. Why? What does -1 return -1 means? It means the value is not present in this list. Only if the value, let's say X, if I am searching for the value X is equal to 7, if not present in my smaller list, then and only there is a possibility that it may present at my 0th index. Let's say if 7 is present here at my 0th index. Let's say if 7 is present at 0th index. In spite of it, in spite of the fact that 7 is present here, we need to check it further inside my list. Why? Because I have to find the last occurrence, not the first occurrence. This is the first occurrence of 7. Let's say 7 is present at index 0, but in spite of that, I have to go inside the entire list and check the value, whatever value is present in this list, in this smaller list. Why? Because if X is present in, if 7 is present in the 0th index, then either X is present there or X is not present there. I have to check anyways in the list which is in the entire list. So why to waste our time and resource for checking the value of X at my first index when I need to check it further? So what I am doing here, I am first checking the value at other places in the list. That is, let's say, a smaller list. So if the value of X is, let's say, X is present here, let's say 7 is present here, let's say at index 5. Let's suppose if I get that my 7 is present at index 7, so, and if I would have checked at 0th index and if it would have present here also, so there is no meaning of checking it here. Are you getting my point? Hello guys, are you getting my point? Can you answer me?
No.
Mr. Misra sir? Mr. Misra sir?
No, once again.
Okay. You can unmute yourself so that you can keep on interacting. So you can keep yourself unmute so that whenever I will ask something, you just respond. Otherwise, we waste a lot of time in Okay, fine. Let me ask. Let me explain you this again. See, let's suppose this is my list. Okay. And let's say here 7 is present, here 3 is present, here 9 is present, here 10 is present, here 7 is present, here 11 is present, here 12 is present. This is my 0, this is my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now see what I'm telling you. When I will start checking the value, I will skip checking the value at the first index. Let's say I have to find the last occurrence of 7. Index position of last occurrence of 7. My last question was I have to find the value of index first occurrence. But here I have to find the last occurrence of 7. So let's say if you start checking from the first 0th index, and suppose you get the index value of first occurrence is, let's say, 7. Still, you need to check it further. Do you agree with me or not? If you get, like in this list, 7 is present at my 0th index, and I got index value of 7 at the first occurrence of 7, the index value of the first occurrence of 7 is 0. Index value of first occurrence of 7 is 0. I get it. Still, I need to check the index position of 7 which is present in the remaining list here, in this list, in this remaining list. Are you agree with me or not? Are you getting this point or not?
Yes.
Still, you need to check it. And when you, and after that, what you will get? Again you will get here the index position of 7 is what? 4. Are you agree? When you move, you will get the index position of 7. This is the last occurrence of 7. Thereafter, no 7 is present. Are you getting my point or not?
Yes.
So, what you will return? What will be your output? What will be your output? Index 4. Index 4 will be your output, na? This index.
Yes.
So, even if you have found index 0 here, this is of no use for you, because ultimately you have to return this second occurrence or last occurrence. This was my first occurrence. Do you get my point?
Yes.
This is my first occurrence, but what you have to find? You have to find the last occurrence, or let's say second occurrence. Let's say second occurrence for more convenience in understanding. So this is my first occurrence. This 0 index, if 7 is present here, this is my first occurrence. If I would have found this is of no use for me. So if this is of no use for me, so I'm not wasting my time and my resource in dealing with this index. So what I will do, I will first look for the 7 in this list, in this remaining list, and I'm leaving this. I'm not looking for 7 here at my 0th index. If let's say 7 is not present in the remaining part, then what it will return? It will return -1. this part will return what? -1, because -1 means 0 is not present. हम ठंडा पानी के बारे में कह दियो तो तू गरम। अच्छा ठीक है, ठीक है, गेट हटा दिया। so this will return -1 if, let's say, my 7 is not present in this list. So this will return -1, and if it is not present here, so this index will be my first and the last occurrence. If, let's say, only one 7 is present and that too at the 0th index, then that will be my first and the last occurrence. Are you getting my point or not?
Yes.
So I will initially skip this in checking of the 7 at 0th index, and I will check for the rest of the rest of the list. If 7 is not present in the rest of the list, then by default, where 7 is present? 7 is present at 0th index. And if it is also not present here, then I will return -1. Return -1. Do you understood this concept or not? Please tell me. Mr. Sir?
Yes.
If there is any confusion, you can ask question, please. Do you have any confusion? If you do not have any confusion, then fine. I am moving ahead.
Yeah, I got the point.
Okay. So now I am going to write the code, and as I am writing the code, I am trying to make you understand how the code works. And finally, when I write the complete code, then I will explain with the help of code this entire process, and we will take 1-2 examples to test my code, whether my code is working or not. Fine. So let's take def, and this is my last index. Last index, let's say give it a name, last index. I'm passing my list A here, and this X, whose index I need to check. Now, L is equal to len of A. Thereafter, if L is equal to 0, if length is equal to 0, then what it should return? Tell me, Ruchi.
Return -1.
Correct. Correct. You are absolutely correct. So I suppose till here there is no confusion. If my length is 0, that
No.
means the list is empty. And if list is empty, X is not present. And if X is not present, then what I will return? -1. The significance of returning -1 is simply that that value is not present, which we are checking. Fine. Now,
Fine.
now similar thing that whatever we are doing in the previous question, I am doing smaller list. I am making a smaller list.
Yeah.
So for the smaller list, what I will do? Simply tell me what I shall write here.
One semicolon.
Correct.
The whole list.
Whole list. So the smaller list will be one element. A smaller list have one element lesser than the previous list.
The previous list. Yeah.
Fine. So I have made a smaller list. I have made a copy from the larger list A to the smaller list. So this I have done. Now I want to find the output of the smaller list. Smaller list output. So what will be my smaller list output? Simply, I will call my function.
Yeah.
Here, recursive function, and inside this, what I will pass now? Instead of this A, what I will pass now? I will pass now a smaller list.
Smaller list.
Fine. Instead of passing
Fine.
this A, in place of A, now I will pass a smaller list. and this
Yes.
x will remain same. There is no change in
Yeah.
this. Now,
No.
next, if let's say if my smaller list output, if smaller list output
Mm.
is not equal to minus
Mm.
1, so return smaller list output plus 1. Let me explain you this thing, what I'm trying to say here. Let's take, this is my list 7 1 3 4 7 11. Let's say this is my list and I am finding for 7. I want to find it for 7. So this is my larger list A. Fine. This is my larger list. If I will make a smaller list from this list, what will be my smaller list? Tell me what is my smaller list? Tell me. Are you present, Ruchi?
Smaller list is one less than the index.
1,
Yeah.
3,
1, 3, 4, 7.
1, 3,
4,
4.
7, 11. Now, what I am writing, first I am coming here, then I am creating this smaller list. So, this is my smaller list. This is my smaller list, na?
Yeah. Yes, yes.
This is my smaller list. So, if this is my smaller list, so what I am telling, the smaller list output, I am calling this function here, and in this function I am putting the smaller list comma x. Now, what I am telling here, if the smaller list output is not equal to minus 1, what it means? A smaller list output is not equal to minus 1. Let's say the output of this smaller list output, if a smaller list output is equal to, if the output of this list output will be minus 1, what it means? It means 7 is not present here. Simply it means, are you getting my point?
Yes.
If my smaller list output is not is equal to uh, is
Minus 1.
is equal to minus 1, that means
Mm.
7 is not present inside this list. But if it is
Yes.
not, if it is not equal to minus 1, if it is not equal to minus 1, what it means?
Then
If it is not equal to minus
it
1, that means it may be present.
present.
It may be
Yeah.
present. So in that case,
Yeah.
what I have to return? A smaller list output, whatever output I will get, plus 1. Because see, my original index value of this is 0, this is 1,
Yeah.
this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. Now, if you, this is my new list. So, index position of this get changed. If
Yeah.
you make a smaller list out of this, what will be your smaller list? 3, 4,
4,
7,
7,
11.
11.
This index value is again changed.
Yes.
Index value is changing.
Yes.
Every time we are
Yes.
making a new list, my index position value is changing. So actually,
Yeah.
Now, let's say I would have found out this. Now, if you again do a smaller list out of this, what you will get? You will get 7 and 11. So, technically, you found this 7 at what index? 0th index.
Hmm.
At 0th index, because in the newer list, it is at the 0th index, na?
Hmm.
But actually, the index value of 7 is what? 4. Actual index value is 4. But you are getting 0 here because you have diminished, you have made a smaller list. That's why the index has get changed. So what you need to do,
Hmm.
you have to, if you return 0 to here, you have to return 0 plus 1. And this, if you return, you have to return 1 plus 1. Here you will, when you will come, you have to return 1 plus 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1. What is this value? 3. Then when you return
3.
to this, you have to return 3 plus 1. That's why you will get the original index value, that is. Are you getting?
Yeah.
Are you getting this point, Mr. Misra sir?
Once again.
So once again, okay. So this time, so you please keep on interacting. I am going to ask questions from you and you have to answer. Then you will understand. So let me erase this. Fine. So let's say, Mr. Sir, let's say this is my list. First value is 7, then 2, then 3, then again 4, then 7, and this is my 10. You understood this?
Yes.
So when you make a smaller list, this is a smaller list, what will be my smaller list? Tell me.
2, 3, 4, 7, 10.
2, 3, 4, 7, 10. When you make a smaller list, what I will get?
3, 4, 7, 10.
3, 4, 7, 10. When I make a smaller list, what I will get?
4, 7, 10.
4, 7, 10. When I make a smaller list out of this, what I will get? Tell me.
7, 10.
7, 10. 7, 10. Fine. Now, what I have to find here? Please tell me.
7.
7 or what? Index value of 7.
Index value.
With 7. This is also 7. This is also 7. With 7, I have to find the index value of. With 7.
Smaller value.
With 7?
Smaller list.
Not a smaller list I'm creating, but I have to find the value of 7, index value of 7, which is second, which is occurring for the second time. So I have to find the index value of this 7. Are you getting? So in the original list, one, if I'm indexing, what
Sorry.
is the,
Hello.
yes? Hello? Hello? Hello.
Yeah, smaller list output 7.
In between your
Smaller
voice,
list 7. Yeah.
your
Hello.
voice
My
break
voice
in
is
between.
between. I don't sub. What happened? I don't know. Why my internet is fluctuating like this today? Okay, now is it fine? Is it fine now? Yes, cool. See, sir. So, do you agree that I have to find
Record have.
do you agree that I have to find the index value of this 7?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what is the index value of this 7? Actually,
4.
4.
Mr. Sir, you have to answer it. Whatever I am asking you.
4.
4. So,
Yes.
this is my actual thing. Now, when I have made a smaller list from this list, so when I have made a smaller list, so this is my indexing of the smaller list. Do you got my point, Mr. Sir?
Yeah. Yes.
This is my indexing of the smaller list. This is my indexing
Yes.
of the smaller list. This is my indexing of the
Yes.
smaller list. Are you agree?
Yes. Yes.
So at this point in this smaller list, I get 7 at which index?
0.
0 index. So it should return 0, but this is not correct
Yes.
because this index is in the smaller list. I have to find the index in my original list, this list. So
Yes.
this should return what? This should return 1
Yes.
because this list is 1 above this list. So it is
Backtracking.
returning 1. Okay, it is returning 0. Sorry, it is returning 0 to this list. And this list is returning +1 to this list. Fine.
Yes.
This is returning.
Yes.
This is returning +1 to this list.
Yes.
So what value I am getting? This list is returning again +1 to this list. 1 plus 1,
Yes. 2.
2. This
Yes.
list is again returning 2 plus 1, 3.
Yes.
Finally, this list is returning 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. So I am getting this 4. Do you understood this? Do you understood this thing?
Yes.
Is this thing clear to you?
Yes.
Now the
Yes.
same thing, because the index, whatever, each time I'm making a new list, the index value is getting decreased by 1.
I have a
Yes.
doubt. 1.
Okay, tell me, what is your doubt?
0 plus 1, 1. Then when it moved to the next list, it should be 2 here. Then why it's remain 1?
Yeah, there is one arrow mistake. From 1
You have
to
to skip one
from 0
arrow.
plus 1, yeah, it will be
It will be 2 here.
right.
And then it should be 3 and
Yeah.
then it should be 4.
Yeah,
0 from here to here, it is returning 0.
it
From
is, yeah,
here to
0.
here, it is returning 1.
Rating 1.
Here to here,
Then
it is
it
returning 1 plus 1, 2. Here to here, it is returning 2 plus 1, 3. Then here to here, it is returning 3 plus 1. This is returning 0. This is returning 0 plus 1 to here. This is returning 1 plus 1. This is returning 2 plus 1. This is returning 3 plus 1.
if it is returning 0, then why in this list 7 is placed at 1, position number 1?
Which?
If it is returning 0, then in the in the second last list, why 7 is placed at 1?
I am not getting what.
No, yeah, she's right. Actually,
See,
it is returning 0. And the second last one is that the index of 7 is 1. So it will return.
okay, fine.
Yeah.
I got your point. So see, fine. I got your point. So fine. It's like, so see, I got your point. Let me make things more clear. Let me make things more clear.
In the earlier explanation, it was something else.
So what you are telling, this should return. What I am telling, this is returning 0. I am telling this is returning 1. This is returning 1 plus 1. This is returning 1 plus 1 plus 1. And this is finally returning 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. See, here 7 it has, here the index position of 7 is what? 0, na? What is the index position of 0 here? 7, 0.
0.
So it will return 0. But here the index position of 7 is 1. So it will return 1. Here the index position of 7 is
2.
2. So you need not to do it like this, because we are increasing by 1 index in every list. What is happening? See, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements. You have reduced it to 5 elements. You have reduced it to 4 elements, then 3, then 2. So what is actually happening? So this is returning it 0, this is returning 0 plus 1, this is returning 0, 0, 1 plus 1, this is returning 1 plus 1 plus 1, that is 3. This is returning actually 3. If you see this is returning how much? 3. And this is finally returning 4. This is my final list. So this will return 0, this will return 1, this will return 2, 1 plus 1, 2, this will return 3, and this will return 4. Do you got it? Or any confusion? Ruchi, tell me please.
Then
If
the
you,
last list, whom it will returning? Then there is no list
which,
at the end. And the first one.
this,
The first one, yeah, this list is returning to whom? If this is the last one.
if this is returning to, if it is returning to the, I am
Same
small,
list.
it is returning here.
Huh.
Whatever the final output it is having, it is returning there. It is returning to the
Acha.
final output.
Okay.
If let's say, if this is my list, this is my first list. If I tell you, return me the second occurrence of 7, what you will say? Return me the index value of the second occurrence of 7. What you will say? What will be your answer? If let's say, if this is my list, and if I ask you question, return me the second occurrence of x, index value of the second occurrence of x, what you will say?
4.
So whom you are returning? Whom you are returning?
Output.
Output. So this is also, this is returning to this, and this is finally returning to the output that you have just told me.
Okay.
Got the point?
Yeah. Good.
बहुत तेरा खीर है भाई. ठीक है. Shall we move ahead?
Yeah.
Yes.
Fine. So, what I want to tell you that, so if a smaller list, if a smaller list output is not equal to -1, if it is not equal to -1, then what it will be? A smaller list output +1. It will be always +1. You got my point?
Yes.
I just now I've explained you this thing. If it is -1, that means that let's say 7 is not present in the list. And if it is +1, so what it will tell you? Okay.
It will tell us the index value of the last
Fine.
occurring X.
So now see here what I'm, let's say the smaller list output will be 0 at my, because if something is in the last thing, what I was telling you, this is 7 and let's say this is 11. This was my last. So what will be my output of this? This is smaller output. 0. But what it should return?
0.
0 plus 1.
Earlier it was returning 0 only.
I was like I was telling you in a different way, and this is what I have written here. Actually, it should return 0, but yes, but I am adding +1
That's
here.
what.
Yes, that was a confusion. I suppose that was a confusion. That was a confusion.
In the earlier explanation, you
Yes.
was doing this only.
That was a confusion. That was a confusion. So please consider that. Okay. So this smaller
Okay.
list, just consider it. It was just a confusion. So this,
now you're right. It will return 0 plus 1.
yes, it will return 0 plus 1.
That was explained by you earlier.
Yes.
When you explained the whole process.
Yes.
And when you
Yes.
revert it,
I was
got
confused.
changed.
I was confused. I am really very sorry for that, for creating such a huge
And you
confusion.
made us confused. And you made us confused even more.
Confused more. So
I was totally convinced and totally
and
I was
fine, it happened. So
understood everything.
I
The
am really
principle
very I'm
again.
This is
yes.
I got what I'm
Okay, fine. I'm
studying
this is a
now.
really
joke.
okay. So I'm really
You must
very
correct it. It
I'm
is correct.
apologizing for you for this.
No need
And
to apologize. This is
No,
this
it
may happen.
happened because
Yeah, it
this
happens.
question is like that.
yes,
But it's a light moment.
So many
because
steps are involved.
We
see,
also understood. No, I mean, we also you took so much of interest in explaining us. We also understood.
so but from my end, I really apologize that I have
No,
created
there is
such
no
a
need of
huge
apologizing.
confusion.
It will happen.
But
It can happen to anybody. Yeah.
so
It happened.
so see, so do you understood this? So I am getting 0 from here, and what I am returning? I am returning this
0
smaller
plus
output
1.
+1, and this will
Yeah.
keep on going,
Yeah.
and
Continuous
finally we will get my desired output
output.
that I want.
Output.
Is this clear to you till here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
So now I am moving to the next part of this thing. I have to write a few more line of code here. So let's understand that. Now, let's say if my smaller output is not equal to -1, what it means simply? That means 7 I have not yet reached at the conclusion that whatever value I'm searching is not present. Okay. So this is not equal to -1. So in that day, this is my if block. If smaller output is not equal to -1, then return this. But let's say in case smaller output is equal to -1, what in that case, what you should do? Else if the smaller output is equal to -1, then in the else block, what you have to write? You have to write if a of 0 is equal to x, return 0, 0, else return -1, -1. What it means? Can you guys able to explain me this, only this part? Let's try it once. Let's try to explain me.
When the list is none, when there is no element, it will return 0. Otherwise, it will return -1 when there is absence of the element x in the list.
Yes. So it's like we have to understand this from this point, from if point. Let's take this list, any list. Let's say 7, 5, 7, 9. This is my list, let's say. So what I'm telling, if a smaller list output is not equal to -1, let's create a smaller list from this 5, 7, 9. Let's create a one more smaller list. So when I've created this list, smaller list output, is my smaller list output not equal to -1? Correct or not? Correct. Because
Yes.
that means I've yet not finished. Fine. So if this is not equal to -1, then I will return this thing. And if it is equal to a smaller list output is equal to -1, a smaller list output is equal to a smaller list output is equal to -1. What it means? It simply means that what I have told you earlier. It simply means that I have not seen in the code, I have not written anything for checking this value. I have told you na, in the beginning that I am skipping to check the value at my 0th index. Have I told you? Instead of checking the value at the 0th index, I will check the value at other part of the list, that other list. So if this part returns -1, if this part means this list, let's say this is my this list, let's if this list, I'm talking about this list, if this list, let's say this is small, if this list return -1 to this list, this upar wala list, then in that case I will check for this, because now I have concluded that this X is not present or 7 is not present in this list. So I am checking whether my X is present at 0th index or not. Are you getting my point? In the original list, I am checking whether X is present at 0th index or not. If it is present, then definitely I shall return 0. If, let's say, if it is not present at here also, then what shall I return? -1. Are you guys getting my point? Will you please tell me anything? Keep yourself unmuted.
Yes. Yes, yes, got it.
You got it?
Yes.
Mr. Mishra sir, have you got it? Or any confusion?
Yeah. Yes.
Confusion?
No, no.
If you have confusion, please, you have to explain it if you do not have any confusion. So please, sir, tell me, any one of you, Richu, you can also please explain me whatever I have explained you just right now. Could you please explain me? Ruchi,
Yeah,
please explain whatever I have
I
told
will
you.
try.
Just try. Let's make a mistake. Don't worry. We are all here to learn. I'm also learning. It's nothing that you people are learning. So
Okay.
let's explain.
Yeah. If the smaller list output is not equal to -1, then we will return to smaller list output +1, and it goes till we reaches to the uh, index value of the last occurrence of X.
Correct.
If not, then we will move to the else section, and then we goes inside if, and if we found it at 0th index, then it will return 0. If not, then it will return -1.
Okay. So what this else part is basically signifying you, what this else part is telling you, from this, if this is this condition, what this else part is actually telling you.
That if the smaller list will not
It,
contain,
it means the value that we are searching is not present in the smaller list. And
not
what is my
present in the
smaller
smaller
list?
smaller list is
7 is not included in my smaller.
smaller. Yeah,
This
it
index
starts
position
from
0,
index
it
number
start
1.
from not 1, it start from 5.
नहीं मतलब I mean to say that start from
Okay,
index
yes.
number 1.
Okay, yes. In this.
It might be 5, it
Yes.
might be 4, it might be any
Okay,
other.
yes. This will start my smaller. And this I have not accounted for yet. So at the end, I am accounting for this. So let's say if I do not get the X in my smaller list, now check whether X is present at my 0 index or not. So that I am checking here. At A0, is X is present? If X is present at 0, so definitely its index value will be 0. So I'm returning 0. And if let's say X is not present, 7 is not present here also. So in that case, what it shall return? What it shall return? -1.
-1.
Do you got this point? Any confusion?
Yeah,
Fine.
no,
So,
finally.
let's now run this code and take few examples and try it out. I'm now running this code. So I'm taking one example. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 7, 8. Let's say this is. And what is my X? Let's say X is equal to 4.
4.
And let's call this function. This is a function call. Let's call this function. This is a function call. Fine. If I run this, what I am getting? 6. So see, what is my x4? So first occurrence of 4 is here.
Yeah.
0, 1, 2, 3. This is my first occurrence.
Yeah.
And 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6.
Oh.
This is my 6. So I am getting 6 here.
Hmm.
Are you getting?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can check it for any other, let's say. Now let's check one thing. Let's remove 4 from here. Let's remove 4 from here.
Hmm.
Now let's check what you are getting. -1. Because 4
Empty.
is,
Yeah. Minus
because
1.
4 is not present here.
Yeah.
Now let's do one more thing. Make this list empty. Now check it. Still I will get -1. Because I have defined the condition at the beginning. If L is equal to 0, return -1. Because my list is empty, then definitely X will be not present inside my list. So I am returning -1.